Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Dad Pod. We got our regular Mr. Perry joining us, and
Oh,
we're gonna get right into it. Topic is finance for your kids and how we're going to deal with that. Like for instance, like college, and whether or not we're going to, have them take out a loan, work for it, or go the traditional route. Like at least for me, my parents, they helped out. I worked a little bit here and there, just kind of, help out with the bills where I was renting and everything like that. But by and large, yeah, it was pretty much my parents helping me out and everything like that. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, Perry.
well, for my experience, my parents back in the day were they're basically lower middle class, so they made just enough to not get like financial assistance or to not be able to provide me with financial assistance. And so I remember specifically my first year of college. I guess they were considered low income when I first got into college, so I did apply for like FAFSA. Remember that form that no one understands.
Yeah.
And then so I got some really minimal aid for that, and then I worked throughout throughout college. But that first year I didn't. Second year, I guess my parents made more money, and so I wasn't able to get financial aid anymore. So it just had to be all like payments, and so my parents were already not making a lot of money. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna work and just pay for it myself.
Yeah.
But as far as for my kids, I mean, we have savings. We started savings for them since they were like 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my plan is probably take out a loan if I can pay for as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they get to college.
Yeah.
Then I'll do that, or at least allocate some funds to pay for their college.
Yeah.
For a good amount of it, then I'll do that, as much as I can. But I'm just she's 7 right now, so in about 10, 11 years she'll be in college.
Quick.
That's coming up. Yeah,
that's coming up.
Yeah, within the next decade, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
So you got a plan.
Yeah, definitely have to plan. I mean, I've obviously been thinking about this, and obviously we've been saving for them for quite some time. But yeah, no, for my parents, they for however long they've definitely been grinding and everything like that, and we didn't really qualify for any of the financial aid or anything like that. And so essentially it was a combination, like even before my first year of college, I took up like summer jobs and everything like that. And even during college, I took on, like jobs here and there just to help out wherever I can, because I know, dude, college. And the crazy thing is that when we were going to college expenditures was a lot cheaper, or at least then. But now it's like, I went to San Jose State, right? And it was a semester system, so it's 2 payments a year, and that was roughly about up to like 12 credits, about $1,000, give or take. So that's 2,000 just for tuition, and then you got books, your room board, and everything like that. But now, what I'm hearing is that at least 4,000 to 5,000 per semester, if not more.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the cost of books and all that stuff has definitely gone up as well. So I'm thinking, man, like, I know you have to factor in inflation, but how am I going to save for this? I mean, we do save on a monthly basis for them and everything, but I was also thinking, like, do I even want to think about like a 529 plan where it's essentially the financial instrument to save for college and any kind of form of education? But I'm thinking, well, I'm going under the assumption that the kids will go to college. I would like for them to go to college, but
yeah, same.
I'm thinking, what if they already know what they want to do? Like that 529, you're kind of stuck with that. But you can actually give it to, like, you kind of more or less gift it to other, like, your niece, nephew, whatever it is, but it can only be used for qualified educational expenditures. So I'm thinking, well, I'm probably just gonna redirect and just do it the traditional way, like where my parents just saved it under a mattress or a bank account and just collect the interest or whatever. And I don't know, a lot of people or a lot of articles that I read where they say, well, no, you should do it into like these types of accounts and those types of accounts and all that stuff. I'm thinking,
But
I just
yeah,
want to keep it simple, you know?
yeah, those accounts have restrictions and penalties and stuff
Right.
like that. You know, and
Exactly.
so, and yeah, it's a good way to designate, you know, your money to that, right? But like with all those restrictions, I think I'm gonna leaning on the same boat as you. It's like with all those restrictions, like, no, I don't want to be told what to do with my money.
Right.
You know, like example, let's just say, yeah, they get into their first year or 2 years of college, and they're like, you know what, like I'm already focused on, like, I already started working on a career path somewhere else, and it would, I think for me, I would have to size them up during that time. And then if, like, yeah, they have like something that's really, got a bright future ahead of it, and I could see them in, like being this beginning part of their career, then I wouldn't really necessarily require them, to finish college unless they wanted to.
Right. And I actually tend to agree. I mean, you kind of think about it this way, right? I know we're kind of going on different tangents and everything, but like the whole financial aspect of it is, to me, I kind of think of it like, okay, you know what you want to do, what benefit are you going to gain from going through 4 years of college, and like what the cost is, right? What's the cost benefit, right? Like I know that it used to be very taboo, right? Where you're not going to college, or you're going to a trade school, or you're just going to a JC and then just going out to work. That was taboo. Whereas like, oh man, that's not the expectation, especially for like a Asian family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now it's like, okay, you kind of have to strike a balance between, okay, I want to save money and I know what I want to do already. That's an okay path to take, right? And you'll save everyone a whole boatload of money, and you're starting your life a lot sooner, right? Like for instance, if you had like found your calling right now, and maybe like say 10 years back, and you knew that you didn't need to go to college, and you're like, I want to be a real estate agent. I just take the classes and move on, just jump right in. That would be a totally different discussion now.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Then.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, my parents didn't even require me to finish college. They did. They wanted me to, as because they're Asian parents, right? Like that's the thing. You finish high school, you need a degree. Why do I need a degree, Mom?
Yeah.
That, and they're like, because you do.
Mm-hmm.
Because.
Just because. Yeah.
Just because. It looks good. And honestly, I started working at. I thought this was like going to be my career, but I started working at Wells Fargo. In the middle, I was actually working 3 jobs. I was working at Starbucks, Kenneth Cole, and Wells Fargo at one point. But I dropped Kenneth Cole, and then eventually I dropped Starbucks because I was like, oh, you know what? I'm all in on Wells Fargo. I could see myself building a career here, right? Mm-hmm. And I graduated, while I was working. I graduated college while I was working at Wells Fargo, but then I honestly didn't need to finish school. I was already on the path, right? Nothing would have changed in my career development at Wells Fargo if I had not gone to college. If anything, I would have probably gotten promoted a lot sooner, because as soon as I finished college, it opened up my availability, and I became like a supervisor or manager. Sorry. Yeah. So to hop on what you said, it's like, if our kids had something like promising like that, I would be like, hey, this seems like a promising job for you, and it seems like you really like it, and you can build yourself up there. Like, okay, go for it. Like, I wouldn't push them too much, because I think most people that we talk about now that has gone through college, unless you had a primary focus already, right, going into college, and then having that, and then basically on your career path immediately after that, most people would say like, college was a joke. I'm completely in debt. And some friends now, I'm 36, friends now are still paying off college debt.
Yeah,
after 10,
that's
15
just
years.
crazy to me. Yeah, I know. Which is why it's like, I keep on thinking about, the finances of it and everything, which is obviously, which it kind of lends itself to like multiple tangents, right? Because you kind of think about the financial aspect of it, going to debt, taking out loans and everything, but then you also kind of think about what the benefit is, right? And so I'm not saying, I'm not saying college is a bad thing, right? College is a great thing. Obviously, for certain fields where you need to go through that level of education in order to kind of build up to that point. But like for instance, and again, I'm just listing out facts. Like for instance, like for nursing, there's trade schools where they accelerate like 1 to 2 years. For real estate agents, they have classes where you can take it outside of college, where it's like a few months or whatever, take a certification test, and bam, you're good, right? There's all these other trades that is actually, you can actually do really well in them, right? You just have to like really work at it. But that's just anything. And so I'm thinking, and to your point, and for me, where I'm at, I can't say that college was a complete waste of time. I mean, I made it was a social aspect of it for me that really kind of left an impression. But as far as the curriculum goes, I'm like, yeah, it didn't really set me up for where I'm at right now in my career. I think more or less it was just a somewhat of a foundational thing, just to kind of like, it's for personal growth, but not necessarily professional growth.
Yeah, I agree. And, yeah, definitely. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go for it. I mean, that was my thought for that one. So yeah.
No, I 100% agree with you. I mean, I definitely felt like college helped me grow personally and gave me a lot of social interactions, and have me create social bonds that till this day I'm still friends with a lot of my friends from college, and we're really close and stuff like that, right? Professionally or like academically, whatever, it was just like to get it done.
Yeah,
right?
just to get that sheet of paper.
Yeah.
I spent my 4 years and I did my time.
Yeah, honestly, if I wasn't so close, like within like 10 to 12 units of graduating, because I have an interesting college career. First year of college, I went to UCR, right? UC. Then second year, I took like a semester off. Then I started at a JC, right, for like a year or so after that, and then transferred to SF State, where I graduated. So I literally hit up all the different systems, and yeah, there's nothing in my body that says, man, that's the right thing to do. You should have, and because like you said, if I were to have found something that I'm really interested in or passionate about, or a trade that I'm really interested in, like nursing, real estate, or whatever it is, right? And there's a like 2-year program for that during that time, I would 100% now, I would say, dude, I would hop on that so quick, right? And I would say the same thing to my kids. Like, if they found something that they're like really interested in, and there was like a specific program, aside from regular, 4-year undergraduate, programs, I would say, yeah, let's go for it. Go for that. I mean, like, if this is something you're really interested in and you want to make this your career, then yeah. Because like, I would say, man, 80% or plus people that graduate from college are just like, okay, well, that was done.
Yeah. What next?
What next? I'm still. Yeah.
It's so crazy, because I know quite a few people who actually went to school for things like, I don't know, history, philosophy, English, whatever it is, just to do something in tech, or just to do something in such a different discipline, where I'm just thinking, okay, if you're just going to college just to get that paper, I think your time will probably be better used in a different capacity.
Yes.
And that's the thing. I'm kind of torn. I don't want to say it was a waste of time. Financially, it was like, dang, I could have saved that money to do something else. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, suffice it to say, I'm not, just kind of going back to the whole financial aspect of it. I'm not going to say I'm not going to save for them, because if that's the path that they choose, then that's the path that they choose. But ultimately, the support that I would like to give them is that make your life something that is meaningful and that is worth living, and that you're doing something that genuinely makes you happy. But there is always a caveat to having happiness at a job, right? You gotta make sure that it can actually bring in money to sustain and support you.
Yeah,
that's huge, right? That's huge.
It is. It's hard. Like, a lot of people, I mean, to this day, the full-on grown-ups a lot of people don't do stuff that they love. They do stuff because they're good at it, or their resume is groomed for it.
Yeah,
right.
It's a means to an end at the bottom line, right?
Yeah, it is. Like, I mean, you always gotta. You're always torn between the two, because like most of the things that you're passionate, that you love, aren't very lucrative.
No, not at all.
You know, they're leisurely, and so it's really hard to find something that can have a good amount of both.
Yeah. It's such a interesting topic to talk about, because I think we both come from similar backgrounds. Obviously, it's not going to be 100%, but I think we've made the realization almost at the same time about, holy crap, all right, school is one thing, but what can we do to ensure financial stability going forward, right? And it's something that we enjoy. I'm so happy that you're able to take that leap, take that jump, and you know, real estate, you know what I mean? And
very hard,
dude. That takes huge balls to actually do, and this is a byproduct of that, right? But think about it though, right? Like, shoot, 10, 15 years back, man, if nowadays, if I had known, like, if this is where I was going to be, screw it, I would totally do something different, man.
Yeah,
I would totally be like, oh, okay, let me build up my confidence and go into real estate. Let me build up my confidence and start a business somewhere or whatever. I wouldn't be doing that. You know?
I mean, it's true. Well, hindsight, right? Hindsight's 20/20, and you know, and thank you for that. I mean, it is still very hard for me to have made that leap from like corporate job to you know, full on real estate, which is like what I love to do. But even 10 years ago, when I started my career at a real estate office, I didn't think that I was going to be in real estate for the long haul.
Yeah.
I just thought of it as a job that I liked. You know, I like doing a lot of parts of it. I wasn't an agent yet. I was the office manager and the project manager for our flips. And then working for that company which is the same brokerage I'm back at again, for like 4 years. Once we had Zoe, you know, everything changed, because like you said, now it's torn. What I like to do at the real estate company wasn't paying me enough, but I knew that I needed something financially stable with like really good benefits, because I got a family now. So my priorities shifted completely. Yeah. And so I made that very hard decision to leave that real estate job and then get a corporate job, because I knew
stability.
Stability. Yeah. And I knew that any job I'd get into, any corporate job I could get into, I'd work my way up to eventually becoming a manager, and that's what I did. You know, it took me like 5 years, but or you know, 3 to 5 years, but I did. And then just unfortunate that the company's not doing well, and I got laid off. But that's what pushed me to make the change, you know, like
blessings in disguise, man. Blessings in disguise.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely I know, you know, your body physically can tell you if it's the right thing or not. Like, you literally will have physical pain if it's not the right thing. And I remember this weight being lifted. I was towards the last year that I was working there. I knew that I was good at what I was doing. I led a small team, but I knew I hated it. The actual, you know, part of my job, I hated. And what I did before, I ended up with I was part of an anti-money laundering cyber team, I'd say, like financial investigations and stuff like that. It sounds all official. It was really cool. I had all these cool programs to look up people's stuff, and I was a professional, like social media stalker. That's part of it. But I was good at it, and I tried to make the most of it. But I knew deep down inside, I hated it. It was eating me up. And towards the last year, I was bringing that tension back home, and I would get into it with, you know, Sophia, and it was just terrible. It was one of the worst times of my life. Yeah. When this happened, I felt immense relief, like literally like lighter, this cloud over my head over the year is gone. And I knew it at that point. I was like, I'm gonna take a little bit of time off because I got good severance and then unemployment, and then I'm gonna study, get my real estate license. And that's what I did, you know. And from there, I mean, it's always been a hustle, but I love what I do. I can't stop talking about real estate. And I mean, I'm hoping that, you know, you and whoever else out there, if you guys are, dabbling between back and forth, what you should do, I think you can poke a little interest into dabbling into what you really want to do. You don't have to commit fully, but at least get the beginning parts of it started, so you know what you're in store for, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think that's I think it goes without saying that that's always in the cards. It's just a matter of actually just doing it, right? But I think I definitely commend you, right? Because being in corporate, it's a different beast. But being able to jump out of corporate and actually making a name for yourself and actually just really going out there, man, that's a whole different ballgame. So, it's difficult, right? Because obviously, again, I need to go back to the financial aspect of it, just because it's always an important piece to think about when you're making any kind of decision, like life-changing decision, right? But I think in your situation is a little different, right? Just because it was forced upon you, but then you made light of whatever situation it was to where you're at now. But yeah, no, I think that's what it is. To be honest, like it's been a struggle. And I'm not gonna lie. I think majority of people in the world are working at companies and jobs that they don't like, right?
Yeah.
They'd rather be doing something else, obviously, and that's pretty cliche. Right? I think that's everywhere. But I think a lot of consideration needs to be made, for sure, right? And I think that it really starts at an early age, like when you're talking to your kids, right? Because I don't know about you, but when I was growing up I think this is part of the reason, and I made this kind of epiphany where I was like, okay, what am I here for, right? And my parents are always like hustling, grinding, go to school, get a job, grind, save up, buy a house, have kids, get married, whatever. But it's like I was never, I didn't really have room to dream, and I think that's something that. And I know we're starting to do that more so now. It's like you can be anything you want. You just have to work for it and just really go for it, right? And stuff like that. But I think the dream, at least for me growing up, was pretty much just to like make money and survive. Like,
well, that's what that's what our parents, like you said, that's what our parents know. That's what they are imposing on us, because that's all they know.
Right.
Like keep your head down, don't get into trouble. Just make enough money, take care of your family, take care of yourself. In their generation, they don't have dreams.
No, not at all. It's just to like make sure that you have enough food, clothes. That's it.
Survive, and there's no room for joy.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing, right? So and I don't know if that's just that could be almost like 100% of the byproduct of that, but I mean, regardless, still extremely grateful for that, because that's what's allowed us to be where we're at right now. Right? So.
Yeah. I mean, it's humbling to always think about that, but you got to understand too that like we're not them, and we want to capitalize, and we come from a different generation. And like perfect example, when I got laid off, I called my prior to that, let's just say prior to that, when I was working at corporate again, I was, every promotion, I'm telling my parents, hey, I'm promoted to lead, I'm promoted to supervisor, now I'm a manager, I got a small team. They're thrilled, like, oh my gosh, my son is doing so well, all this stuff. Yeah. And then when I told them, and I was smiling, I remember I was smiling on the phone, I was like, Mom, I got laid off.
Yeah.
And then she goes, what? And then like, it was the first thing, I was like, no, it's
a good
fantastic.
Thing. Yeah. They're like, are you crazy?
Yeah. How are you gonna take care of your family? You got a mortgage, how are you gonna do that? And I was like, I got things planned, I'm gonna do it, right? And so her and my dad, they didn't believe me. They're just like, dude, I don't know how you're gonna do this. Like, you got a family, like, they're in no position to help me out. But I had this plan, like, get my license, get deals. I mean, like, we had, and luckily for us, we had, 2 investment properties that were, I was, receiving rent for it. That was kind of keeping me sustained, right? But, that rent is still going. My unemployment ran out, my severance ran out. Yeah. And I mean, and it's, the grass is not always greener on the other side. It's a constant struggle, constant hustle. But personally, how I feel about it, I wouldn't change it any other way. Like,
Oh, 100%.
you know, yeah, like I don't. I was such in a dark, bad spot prior, and I know I can't say everyone felt like this, or maybe somewhat like this, but I think everyone in that position who has dreams and aspirations of something else probably are feeling like this one way or another, right? And it's not healthy. I think you have to really do the legwork into what you're interested in while you're hustling, working your regular 9 to 5 that you hate, you know. And this is the epitome of what hustling is. And once you get that legwork going, and then let's just say, oh shoot, okay, I'm actually building traction. I'm learning more on the side. Okay, actually I'm starting this other thing up. I have this other business up that I've been thinking about. Oh, it's doing well, you know. Or like I feel like if I invest more time into this, then I'll make more money than what I'll doing, like working my 9 to 5 or whatever. Or maybe you just realize that you have a good cohesion between 9 to 5 and your side hustle.
Right, and right? It may work out, right? So
yeah.
Different things for different people, for sure. Obviously, even me personally, I've already started doing some side things like investing and everything like that, and maybe that works out. Who knows? But maybe it could lead to much bigger things. But I think the bottom line is that do what you have to survive, but also think about what you also need to do to be happy in your life, because you only have one life to live, right?
Yeah.
Whether it be real estate, whether it be a nurse, whether it be a doctor, engineer, it doesn't matter. As long as it keeps you happy and it brings in money to help sustain your life and everything going forward, right? Like college, marriage, weddings, whatever the case may be. I think that's such a huge and profound thing to really, really think about, right? In our phase of adulting, right? Because I mean, again, think about 10 years back. I don't really care. I'm just gonna work and we'll have fun on the side. But that was a different time. Now it's like, okay, shit just got real, and you kind of really have to hustle in order for you to get ahead in life. And I think it's definitely our responsibility to kind of go through and really show our kids, that it's not easy. That it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of effort to save up money in order for you to live the life that you want to live. And I can't put it any more different than that, because I think financial independence, financial education for kids these days is not necessarily where it should be, especially in the schools. Like, I don't know about you, but I do a lot of reading. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube from various different people, and that's how I get my education, and talking to you and talking to various other people as well. So I think at the end of the day, we just need to be better, and financially talking to their kids about that kind of stuff and stuff.
No, 100% true, man. I mean, like, I like to humble the kids as much as I can.
Oh, yeah.
They always ask, like, when are we going to get a bigger house? And I tell them, like, when I sell 100 homes.
Yeah.
And then, I sell one, and then they'll keep track, like, how many have you sold so far? Oh, just this one right now. Okay, we got 99 more to go. I'm like, okay. But
it's good though. It gives them something to look forward to, a goal, so where they can actually help you say, okay, daddy, you keep on doing it. Even just with slight motivations,
Yeah, I mean, you're right, we have to tell them like that, like, it's hard. Okay, unfortunately, we live in a world where money is a lot of things. It's not everything, but it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things, and it only benefits the people that have it, right? And so we have to find out ways to have it. Like, we can't, it doesn't work anymore when we do the old school way of what our parents would just stick with one job, work your way up, work hard, make money, make enough money to live off of. Like, no, you got to spread all that.
Diversify. That's the key thing. Diversify. Yeah.
For real. Like, I mean, 9 to 5 job, ambitious side hustle, whatever that is, stocks, real estate, rental property. Like, there's a lot of things that you can do and spread it around. And I think it's really good to explain that to our kids, that money doesn't come from anywhere. You got to work really hard. Like, me and mommy work really hard so that you guys can have a nice life and to be able to, have nice things that we have. And I always tell them, like, when I was young, me, your aunt, my sister, and your grandparents, we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment for 20 something years, and literally 20 something years since I was like born, right? And that apartment, it was infested with roaches and whatnot.
Yeah.
I slept with roaches. I was embarrassed to bring people over to our place because
of the environment.
Environment,
100%.
Yeah. And so, I tell my kids, and they're like, whoa, ew, roaches. I'm like, hey, that's the life. That's what I had to deal with, you don't have to deal with waking up every morning and shaking out your clothes to make sure that there's no roaches or spiders. You don't have to worry about. I didn't even have a bed to sleep on when I came back from college. I just slept on the couch in the living room. Yeah. And you didn't have to worry about, bugs crawling in your ears in the middle of the night. I had to worry about that shit.
Yeah. And I know exactly what you're going through, right? Or what you've had to deal with, because I pretty much have to do the same thing too. I never this idea of having your own room and all things to yourself. No way. I shared with 2-3 people, coming back from, during school and everything like that. It's not easy. But the thing is, though, yeah, I think to your point, humbling the kids to a point where they actually understand and realize, yeah, I think we have it pretty good. Regardless of the fact that, maybe we don't have our own house or we don't have all these things that other kids may have, but we have it a lot better than what it was before.
For sure. It's a thin line we're treading, because we want to show them that have these big dreams and aspirations and go for them, right? But we also want to show them that the value of money. Yeah. Because I didn't have it, I value money so much. Yes. And I know you do too.
Oh yeah.
And our families do, and we just raised from that era, where I would really consider everything that I was thinking about buying. We're gonna go buy a can of soda from the vending machine. How much is it? I gotta go. How much is it? It's 25 cents. Okay, I can do 25 cents. Right? I gotta. This is way before cell phones. I gotta call my mom. It's late right now. How much is the phone? I have to.
Yeah.
That's how it was, and it's good for them to know that. But they understand that they gotta work hard for their money as much as we do, but also dream big about what you want, and then have that intermingle somehow. The perfect cohesion would be something you love that's very lucrative.
Yeah, that's like the win-win situation that I think everyone is striving for. But you know what though, I don't think it's not unattainable. It's definitely there within arm's reach.
And I think it's good that we talk to them early on, like you said, to let them know that it's okay to want what you want. Yeah. But you have to understand, you gotta hustle your ass off.
Yeah, it's not going to be given to you.
No.
None of us were born with a silver spoon. And to those that were, more power to you. But for I think majority of people, and this is just my own feeling, no special source or whatever, but I think everyone has had to hustle for everything that they've had. And people can come back and everything. So, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a very huge topic, right? We can probably go on for hours talking about this, but I think I think that the point is proven, or point has been taken, and hopefully all you guys reviewing that are in kind of the same situation, are in a you understand. These are our point of views, and this is what we've been through, and this is just really what we'd like to instill in our kids, and hopefully it was useful for you guys. If there's more interesting topics like this that you want, or if you want us to continue further, we can definitely do that. But definitely leave comments, and thank you for joining. Thank you, Perry, for your insight. Always appreciate it.
Yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, for sure. But thank you guys for viewing. If you viewed this far, I know it's a little bit longer, but I think it's a very, very important topic to talk about.
Yeah, no one likes to talk about money, but we got it.
But you got to talk about money. But until next time, thank you for joining. Peace out, and have a good weekend. Later.
Bye.